So 2012 isn't the end of the world.
Definitely not. It's the end of the old paradigm. It's the end of the old way where darkness reigns supreme. Now, 2012, 22nd, all that changes for the next 13,000 years. It changes. You know. And those people who wish to become inspired, they have to elevate themselves, because no one can do it for them. I mean, the cosmos is helping to quicken the vibration, but it's up to you. You have to help yourself through being quiet, being still, calling for that light, calling for that love, drawing that power into your being, drawing it into drawing into yourself. That's the only way you elevate yourself. Some are waiting for the Savior. Save you from what? Your own madness, your own craziness. You are the Savior. You, everybody, you are the Savior. You have within you the truth, the way, and the light, and the love. That is your Savior. Well, we share the planet at the moment, and on the planet at the moment is many teachers who are traveling, many light workers who are traveling with different messages. And it's people like yourself running these festivals where these people can come and they can share their messages that they carry. Because the people on the planet need to know this information. They need to know what's going on. They need it. And now we have these light workers, we have these shamans, we have all these travelers who are on the road sharing these messages. And it's people like you, the festivals like you, that give us the platform to share this.
I heard you say there are all different messages.
Yes, there are different messages. Some messages that people are carrying is different message. What I'm carrying a message of inner peace. Some carry the message of healing, healing their emotional bodies, their mental bodies, their physical bodies. And some people have different methods of going inside and experiencing the heart and the love inside. Some people they teach a message of a method of going inside, and they call that illumination of the heart, and the different methods of going inside. Some people use prayer. Some people use nature, and they feel at one with themselves when they're in nature. There's many ways of going in and feeling your connection with all that is, the great I am. There's many ways of it. But the main message for me is telling people, go to their silence. Go to the Wairutapu, the sacred spirit within you. And you will be taken into the realms of infinity, of eternity. Peace is the gateway to eternity.
And is that special for Maori traditions?
This is the message of peace and inner growth is universal. It's for everybody. It is for everybody. But for the Maori, we are brought up on very simple teachings, the teachings of Rangi Maori, which is the heavenly peace.
The heavenly peace.
Yes. We are brought up in Maori to share that from word go, to share that inner peace with our families, from when we're young, and to make that inner peace our home, and bring it into our homes. Because when the love comes into our homes, the kids are happy, mum and dad are happy, and they go off to all their work, and they're happy at work. The kids are happy at school, and everybody is happy. The peace and the love is the most beautiful thing that we can have. And we're brought up in our societies and our tribes that the aroha, the peace and the love is the main thing for us. Well, I've sort of been attached to the whole Maori structures for many years, you know. And my genealogy not only goes to Maori, but it goes further right back to the first indigenous people of the land. And the first people of the land was from the nation called the Waitaha Nation.
The Waitaha Nation.
Yeah, and they're known worldwide as the Peace Nation. They were the first indigenous people of New Zealand. So as time went on, the Maori arrived and intermarried with the Waitaha people. And so here I am,
Okay.
carrying both genes.
That is a very old, you call it your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell more about that?
Well, the Maori ancestry is different to the Waitaha ancestry. The Maori history traced their roots through the different islands, through the different places, and they traced their journey through Samoa, through India, through up to the northern hemisphere. Waitaha traced their genealogy up through thousands of years ago, when the Pacific was one land, and 10,000 years ago, there was a land that covered all of the Pacific area, and they called that land Lemuria. And 10,000 years ago, that land sunk, and my ancestors managed to get off, and of course they looked around where to resettle, and they came to New Zealand, and they settled in New Zealand. And a lot of history and a lot of stories have gone on about Lemuria, or the land of Mu, if you like. And the land of Lemuria, their history stretches right back into time, maybe 100,000 years ago. And it's a long history. Very ancient civilization that was very, very high conscious. And they had what they call the clan structure or tribal structure within Lemuria. And the clan structure and the tribal structure is like, that comes from the people, and they pick their leaders, and it comes from that. And they share everything, all the property, all the food, everything is held in common for the tribe, for the people. And there was a group within the Lemurian culture who didn't want that. They wanted another structure, what they call the hierarchy structure.
The hierarchy?
Yeah, hierarchical. And that structure is based on one man at the top controlling everything. So eventually they shifted away, they broke away from Lemuria, and they went to the northern hemisphere and formed their own civilization in the northern hemisphere. And they call that civilization Atlantis.
Okay, that's Atlantis. We heard about that.
Yeah. So that's how Atlantis came about. It came out of Lemuria. And came out of there because they wanted a different set of governance and different set of... So they chose that structure. And they came upon the land of Atlantis, and it was a great land, between America and Europe. And it was so big, so huge, that they divided it up into 12 regions, and each region had their own king. And out of those 12 kings, they elected one who was supreme over the lot of them. And that's how they built their structure. And their civilization was based on working with an extraterrestrial people. And they worked alongside the Pleiadians, and they worked alongside other star people as well. And I've got old paintings of different channel paintings that come through, and it showed you the Atlantis cities and their places, and showed you even the different starships that were there as well. And so they got a lot of knowledge and a lot of technology from the star people at that time. And so they were taught things like genetic engineering, all the different technology to do with, with all the different power things that they had. And there were a lot of different people within Atlantis that came out of Atlantis, like the Mayans. They trace their history back to Atlantis. The Aztecs, they trace their history to Atlantis. And they've even said that the Jews have traced some of their ancestry out of Atlantis also. So there was a whole mixture of different people there, different genes. And one of the things that they learned there was how to manipulate genetic engineering, how to manipulate the DNA. And that has a profound effect on our history, because when they learned how to manipulate DNA, they learned how to adjust the DNA so that it could produce only a fraction of the nervous system and of the chakra system. And so they engineered and they played around with the DNA so that the what they call the 12 helix strands that were connected into our chakra system was disconnected from us, and they disconnected 10 other strands, and they left the human beings with 2. And they did that on purpose so that they could have a race of servants, a race of people that only served and couldn't get into the higher consciousness of who they were, and they just wanted them to do the menial tasks. And so the first prototypes was a man and a woman, and the first prototypes were the ones with the disconnected DNA, and they were put in the gardens, to do all the gardening and all that. And from my research, I call those two Adam and Eve, the father and mother of mankind.
Mm.
And we are the descendants from those experiments, disconnected DNA. And here we are sitting today with only 2 of our helix strands connected to our chakras today. That's why we're not in full consciousness of who we are. It's limited us.